Okay, our next question is from Dan, who says, I'm a non-technical founder. I need to find a technical co-founder. Best way to go about this? Great question. Happens all the time. Here's a great way to do it. A little bit of a secret I have for you. Go onto LinkedIn. Find a company that has been sold 2 years ago, a year ago, 6 months ago, 3 years ago. So you know that this company was sold to Twitter. You can assume that those people had a year or two they had to stick around. They probably made some money. So if you worked at WhatsApp and it was sold 3 years ago to Facebook, those people who came probably got 3 or 4 year deals. They're probably looking for other opportunities. They might be calling in rich. And you start meeting with them because they may not be sensitive to salary, right? They may be okay with taking a draw. They may be looking to lead something because they were at a company and they weren't the leader. So the people who lived through a startup experience, they were at WhatsApp for 4 or 5 years. They were at, a company that sold to Tesla or a company that sold to Apple. If they made it through that acquisition, they know the lifespan of a company and they know that companies can get sold for a lot of money. They now are poised to start their own company because they got a taste. They didn't get rich. They got a taste. They got that taste of honey in their mouth. Yum, yum. I watched the leaders of WhatsApp make billions of dollars. I made a couple of $1 million. Or I watched, my startup get sold to Twitter. The founders made $1 million each. I made $25,000. I would like to add a couple of zeros to that. I would like to run the company. I watched this schmuck, Jason Calacanis, run a company. I could do it better. Rafat Ali from Skift. I'm an investor in his company now. He worked for me. It was like, Jason can make a media company. He took notes. Here's all the things Jason did right. Here's all the things Jason did wrong. Then he started 2 companies. Sold one to The Guardian. Now he's on a second one. I'm an investor in the second one, Skift, Skift.com. Go watch it. It's a great travel site, business-to-business travel publication. So I think finding those people, and then if they have a sense of purpose and they're missionaries, not mercenaries. Mercenaries want money. Missionaries want to convert people to believe in the idea. You want those missionaries, not the mercenaries. The mercenaries will get the money and they'll leave. Or if they don't get the money, they'll leave. Mercenaries leave and try to find a better paying customer. They're not, they're the Boba Fetts of the solar system. They're just going to take, if Darth Vader pays them more money, great. If Jabba pays them more money, great. If Luke Skywalker pays them more money, they're going to just go to the highest bidder. You want those missionaries. And when you have a little bit of money, you bought your apartment, you had a success, you may get you may be in a perfect position to want to take risk of starting a company. So that's how I like to find them. I mean, the other thing to do is to just show up at every event possible and tell everybody you meet, I want to build a company. I'm looking for a technical co-founder. And just email your network and just relentlessly network. If you can't go out there and find a technical co-founder, you've DQ'd yourself from being fundable, by the way. So I appreciate you asking the question, asking for hacks, but here's a little secret. If you can't find a technical co-founder, if you can't convince anybody out there to join you on the startup journey, you've DQ'd yourself, disqualified yourself from being a founder. You can do it. You have to work your network. You have to go out and hustle and go to events. You have to go on LinkedIn. You have to email 50 people, get 7 of them to respond, get 3 of them to go to coffee, and convince 1 of them to join you on this crazy journey. It is not easy. But again, you do not get to be entitled. You do not get to have a startup just because you want to. You have to earn it. And part of earning it is being able to build that early team. If you can't convince people to join the early team, how are you going to convince people to join you when things are hard? When you have competitors, when Google releases or Microsoft or Amazon releases a free version of the product you're charging for, how are you going to keep them working at your company? You have to be a leader. You have to be able to convince people that your idea has merit. If you can't convince people, it's either because you yourself are not inspiring or the idea sucks, or people don't believe in you. All of those reasons you have to look deeply in the mirror. And this is what people don't want to do. They don't want to take that deep look in the mirror and say, hey, what is it about me that makes people not want to work for me? What is it about this idea that people are not drawn to it? You could be crazy. You could be misguided, or the rest of the world could be. It happens. Both of those things happen. I'm sure some of the people who first wanted to come work, at Uber or Airbnb or Tesla or even Twitter just thought this idea is dumb. This idea is never going to work. But those charismatic founders convinced them to take that leap of faith. Charisma in a founder is critical. VCs don't talk about it all that often, but I talk to VCs all the time, and they say, love the idea, product looks good, not inspired by the founder. The founder just doesn't make me believe in it. I've seen people, Mark Pincus, who could sell you anything. If they got that enthusiasm and Mark Pincus is excited about it, everybody's going to be excited about it. Even if it doesn't add up, even if it's a little bit quirky. He just has that crazy enthusiasm that's infectious. It's just one of Mark's gifts. So when he does hit a great idea like social gaming or, social networking, it doesn't guarantee him success, but his enthusiasm does make people want to give him money and be part of the excitement. You have to be able to transfer your enthusiasm to other people. So I know you want me to give you little techniques on how to find a technical co-founder or just tell you like an address, go to 123 Main Street. There's 20 technical co-founders sitting there. The bigger issue is, can you convince people to come on that journey? Can you get them to join you in the Nina, the Pinta, or the Santa Maria and go across the ocean when we don't know what's on the other side? And if you're going to die of scurvy halfway out there in the middle of the ocean and resort to cannibalism. That's the level we're talking about here. You have to be able to convince people to do crazy things, like quit a big, high-paying job to join you without a salary. Sometimes have to convince a spouse, hey, I'm going to go do this. Sometimes they got to convince themselves. Sometimes they got to talk to their parents. All different people and constituents you have to sell into. Sometimes people forget that. You might be asking somebody to join you and to not take a salary. You may forget that you want them to be your partner. They already have a partner. Go meet with the spouse. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. I always invite the spouses or the significant others to come to the demo days, to come to some of the events we do, because they have to support those unsung. They're the unsung heroes. They have to support those founders when they're out there trying to make it in the real world. So it's not easy, but you will find that technical co-founder. I have a good feeling about it, Dan. The fact that you're asking the question means you're looking to learn, and that's a good thing. Okay, let's take one more question. Hey, everybody, I want to take a moment to tell you about retargeting. This is a very, very important thing for startups to understand because customer acquisition is what it's all about, and AdRoll is the best retargeting platform on the planet. Over 25,000 advertisers use it. And I want to tell you today about a new product they have. It's called SendRoll. No, it's not sending to get your rolls and buttered rolls. No. This is about email, and SendRoll lets you get all those people who are window shoppers, people who are checking out your website, and then you can convert them into buyers, which is what you want, getting them to sign up for your product or service by email. So imagine they visit your site, but then they get an email follow-up. SendRoll is powerful retargeting tech plus effective emails, and the results have been spectacular. The average SendRoll gets a 45 to 60% open rate and a 10 to 20% click-through. And I can tell you, running inside.com, that is probably 3 times, 4 times the industry average. And it's so easy to set up a SendRoll campaign. It just takes minutes. They give you all the templates, and they have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week customer service line if you need help. And what I always like to do when we have somebody who has a product that's loved on our program, we don't want to read any sponsor messages, any partner messages for things that are not loved. The great part is a lot of my founders from my portfolio use AdRoll, so it's very easy for me to talk about their new product, SendRoll. James Heller, the founder of Rapify, which went through my incubator, says AdRoll is an integral part of our customer acquisition strategy. It allows us to continue to garner impressions long after the initial customer interaction. It's also one of the most cost-effective tools to bolster any integrated marketing strategy. AdRoll is the best retargeting platform, period. That's according to James Heller, good friend of mine and one of my investments at Rapify. So here's your call to action, everybody. Try SendRoll and get a $100 credit. Just go to adroll.com/twist, 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 and get that $100 credit. And please try that SendRoll and give them some feedback and let them know that Jason sent you. Okay, let's get back to this amazing program.